I have a secret. Yes, I have a secret, and this is not clickbait. I have a secret, and I'm going to tell you it right now. I made an espresso machine. Sort of. There was a machine that was made with notes that were taken from videos of mine, with understandings of what I would want in an espresso machine, and I was even joked to be the co-designer of this project, unbeknownst to me. I had no idea this was going on, but it was going on. And without knowing that background, this was a machine that I saw glimpses of and even got to use a prototype of that I very publicly showed extreme excitement for. And in fact, over the past few years, I've been singing its praises, waiting for its release, telling people this is really the only innovative machine that has come out that I'm excited about. Now, you've probably already guessed what this machine is. And for those of you who have not guessed, it is the Meticulous. This machine is incredibly special and something I have been hyping up for the last few years. And now I'm even more excited because, well, let's just say I'm working with them. This is not a salary position. This is not a commission pump and dump. This is not an affiliate link. I am working with Meticulous. It's not something where I'm, getting sales generate me income. That's not a thing that's happening. Whenever you're looking at what machine I would build, this is essentially what it would be for the most part. Lever machines, I have them tatted up on me. Lever fever, I am addicted to levers. So I would want an automated lever machine. This is the first one of its kind. I would want profiling capabilities, kind of like the Decent. Guess what? This has that as well. I would want a unique solution to the water reservoir because I despise boilers. You put water in, you have to heat it, and then it cools down. You heat it, it cools down as you keep using it because you never really use all the water in the boiler. Then you have scale potential. Also, with thermocoils and thermoblocks and thermojets, those are nice, but it's hard to get in there and clean over time if something does go on. You have to be really cognizant of your water. I wanted a unique water solution, and one that I never even considered was a very simple solution. Whatever water quality you have, it could be insanely tailored to it with as much trash in there as you want, or distilled. And honestly, it's going to be fine because water goes in, heats up, comes out, and it's gone. This has insane build quality, and the things that could potentially fail over 5 or so years are off the shelf. I would want something small-ish because I'd hate really massive machines that take over your whole area. This is incredibly sleek and small and thin, but it still weighs a lot and is very well built. Back in January of 2023, I first saw an Instagram post from Meticulous teasing their machine. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, when will these be released? I want to buy one to review. And the response came from Carlos, the owner of Meticulous, the designer of this, the one whose brain baby this was. This is not me being arrogant, but he said he was starstruck. He had been watching all of my videos, and he said watching my espresso videos first time around, he kind of didn't quite understand anything. And then at one point, he said there was a video that made it aha, and all of my videos had a different level of understanding that changed the way he thought about espresso. What's up, everyone? Lance Hedrick here, and today we're going to go over manual espresso. The thing that really sucked him in was my first ever Flare 58 video, which was like my 6th or 7th video I posted on YouTube. And in it, I go gaga over the history of lever machines. I even show the original Fellini shot from the Fellini video. Just essentially talk about how great levers are. And over time, my kind of preferences for espresso shots and how they worked infiltrated his notebook and helped him in designing this machine. And at the time, he asked if I would want to be an advisor of the company. Long story short, I ended up turning it down because it was too early, even though I was obsessed with the idea of the machine. But then, about 3 months ago, I get reached out by someone I was not expecting. Someone I know very well in my Patreon, who's in my Discord, and we chat quite a bit. Turns out this guy, after we have a phone call, is the lead investor of Meticulous. Not only that, but recently he had decided to kind of take over as head of operations to help scale Meticulous due to their kind of needing to create machines to give to backers and to potential new orders. And so we have some conversations, and he broaches a conversation of bringing me on board. Now, he had no idea Carlos already offered me this 2.5 years ago. And he offers me essentially the same thing, to come on board, help them go forward, and have an advisorship type of thing going on. This time was different. So I ended up signing on with Meticulous on June 28th of this year. Now, that's an important date to remember, and it's because around that time is when I stopped posting tier list videos. And I'm still getting, hit every day with people saying, where's the in-game lever, the in-game espresso machine? And there's a very easy reason why I've not made those videos. And it's because on my notes, I have the meticulous on each one, because it can essentially be an in-game lever or an in-game normal. Being on board with meticulous, it didn't feel right to film a video where I gave an A, which is what I had the meticulous at prior to working with them, mind you. That being said, if you go back and watch my lives from 2 years ago with prototypes of meticulous, my excitement is through the roof on this anyway. It just so happened to actually become a real bias about 2-3 months ago from the filming of this video. I don't believe this will really affect future reviews, largely because this stands in a class of its own, not just higher class, but a separate class, because it doesn't have a steam wand. It doesn't have a boiler or a heating mechanism built in where you can have a water reservoir. It's not going to hit the boxes of a lot of people in the market. People are still going to want E61s due to longevity and repairability. People are still going to want manual lever machines for the tactile sensation. People are still going to want a dual boiler to steam milk and to have that thermal stability that they kind of are looking for. People are still going to want things that have different capabilities that this isn't offering. This isn't designed to offer. And in the same way I built the burrs for the Pietro, I probably recommended and had sold, based off of my word, more ZP6s than Pietros, and it's because I believe the ZP6 is easier to use. And then my contract now is over, so you could go and try to support me by buying a Pietro, but it doesn't really matter as of a few months ago. But none of that matters. My whole goal is for you all to be comfortable with what I'm recommending and to ensure that what I'm recommending is not obfuscated by some sort of personal thing. And that's why this is still a side hobby and not my main job. I don't want to be putting myself in a position where I need to manipulate my, my trust that I have with you all in order to profit. That's not something I ever want to do. And so I didn't do that with Pietro. I haven't done it with X-Bloom. I made one video on X-Bloom, and I tell people, the fellow Aiden, I tell people the Sage Precision Brewer, if you're wanting batch brewer, if you want single cup, it is fantastic, but you don't need that. And that's why I don't ever talk about it. I'm really excited. I think this is an absolutely incredible machine and is honestly my end game machine. There's really no point in having anything else for me other than maybe a tactile lever machine if I ever want to have that one-to-one situation. But anyway, let's brew some coffee with this because you got to see how it works before we end the video. This is a machine that has a piston right here, and it's the same construction that is actually created for submarine windows. No joke. But it's taking a copious amount of measurements in order to measure the flow rate going through, which is going to be as perfect of a measurement as you can get, as well as the pressure that is being experienced at the puck. You have complete profiling capabilities with both flow and pressure. This right here heats up the water, so you can put room temp water in or preheated water in, and you can get going just like that. 58 millimeter group head, although you can do a conversion kit on it. But the thing is, and what is fantastic about piston-driven machines or about lever machines in general is it doesn't matter if you have a step down, because guess what? Headspace doesn't matter. Right when the piston raises, water will immediately cover the puck. So headspace is not a thing with a piston machine. It's only a thing with a pump machine. And we go over that in my recent whiteboard series. But that said, I am hoping that S-Works makes a conversion kit because I will use it. But it's only because I'm bougie like that. We've partnered with Akai in order to make a scale down here. You can use it independently. You have the capability of programming profiles on here or on an app. Again, everything will be shown in my video, but this is going to be a soupy gusher style of shot. So if you're new to this and you're expecting, you see it kind of running out like soup, don't freak out and say that's not a good espresso machine because you didn't get thick crema. I'm not wanting thick crema here. I'm using an ultralight coffee and I want it to run in like 12 seconds. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. We can do thick crema on here. Don't you worry. And I'll do it in my full review with my pseudo-Italian recipe I've made. But without further ado, let's get this prepped. So I'm going to put some water in here, and I'm going to go ahead and prepare the shot. A lot of times machines want to slow down as it's trying to hit its perfect temperature. I don't think that's as necessary, so we kind of speed it up until the very end just to ensure a faster heat up. I also have made a brew now type of situation. There are times where you don't want to wait till it hits your peak temp. It's okay if it's 2 degrees cooler. You can go to brew now and it'll immediately start it. A partial retraction of the piston. If the piston goes all the way up and sucks air into the chamber, it's going to skew the reading. So now we have a partial retraction, ensuring that it's as evenly heated from top to bottom bottom as possible. You still get a ton of water, but again, all this will be in the review, so don't you worry. I just wanted to do a quick little brew while we're talking about the machine. Please ask any questions down below, any fears that you might have, any considerations I should take into account. I am happy to answer anything because I am super stoked about working with Meticulous. I super believe in this, not only this product, but in the team that has surrounded it and the steps they've made specifically in the past 5 months in order to make this more into not just a reality, but a brand new style of brewing coffee. Anyway, here we go. Retraction of the piston. Listen, I'll silent. Unbelievable how silent it is. And now what we can do at the end, after it retracts, then we need to purge it through and then you're done. And honestly, and I've been critiqued by this, but I enjoy the purge water on occasion. Sometimes it's actually good. And I've seen other people who've gotten their early units agree. But anyway, what we can do now, we click here and we can hit last shot and boom, we see my shot, which it didn't really raise much in pressure. There was a peak after the bloom of about 5 bar, but it quickly dropped to pretty much nothing as it finished its weight. We'll go.
Can I score?
Yeah.
From 1 to 10?
Yeah.
10, it's super good.
Mm-hmm.
9.8.
Yeah, I figured. It's good. My number one commitment is not even to Meticulous, it's to you all. It's to ensuring I'm doing the right thing by you all. Wow, that was good. I'll make you another one after we film. Okay. Even though I'd gotten this machine I'd been going crazy over the past few years, I didn't make a video. I wanted to wait until everything was finalized to ensure that I could be as open and transparent with you as possible. Now, again, I'm not apologizing for this. I am stoked beyond belief to be partnered with a machine. This is something that people have been asking me to do for a long time, and something I've been wanting to do is work very closely on a specific product. So I am beyond excited, and I hope that a lot of you are too. I will take genuine questions down below, but if people are just being trolls, I don't really care. But anyway, I'm gonna drink the purge water now. That one's not so good. But thank you so much for watching, and I'm super excited to potentially brew you some coffee using Meticulous, or for you to be able to use Meticulous and just see why it is a machine that excited me so much 2.5 years ago. I almost blindly became an advisor for a company I'd never heard of. Thank you so much for watching. I hope more than anything that you brew something tasty today. And cheers.